There will be days when your mind whispers, "Stay comfortable, avoid the struggle, don't push too hard." But deep down, you already know, comfort is the silent killer of growth. Every great achievement, every breakthrough, every victory in history was born because someone forced their mind to do the hard things. Discipline is not natural. Courage is not convenient. Strength is not handed down. They are forged when you choose to fight the urge to quit and take the harder road. Today, let's uncover 6 powerful truths that will help you train your mind to embrace difficulty so you can rise above fear, weakness, and excuses. Growth never happens in the comfort zone. Comfort feels safe, it feels warm, it feels easy. But it is also the cage that keeps you small. If you look around at the people who have achieved extraordinary things, you'll notice one common truth. They all stepped willingly into discomfort. Think about it. Muscles don't grow when you lift light weights that feel effortless. They grow only when you push them to the point of strain, when the fibers tear and repair themselves stronger than before. In the same way, your mind, your spirit, your character only sharpen under pressure. Without resistance, you remain the same. Without struggle, you never evolve. When you study something difficult, there is a point where your brain feels foggy, where frustration rises, and you want to quit. That moment isn't failure, it's growth knocking on the door. Knowledge settles in when you wrestle with confusion until it breaks open into clarity. Every breakthrough in your life will come disguised as discomfort. The problem is, most people run the other way the moment it feels hard. They quit when the weight gets heavy. They shut the book when the material feels overwhelming. They walk away from challenges because it doesn't feel good. And that's why they stay where they are. Think of Thomas Edison. Thousands of failed experiments, endless nights of exhaustion, ridicule from others who thought he was wasting his time. Each failed attempt was painful. Each setback was frustrating. But Edison understood something that many of us forget. Discomfort is the toll fee for greatness. Every hour of frustration, every failure, every sleepless night was the currency he paid for the invention that changed the world. And when he finally created the light bulb, no one remembered his failures. They only remembered the success. That's what discomfort does. It hides the treasure behind a wall of difficulty, daring you to prove how badly you want it. The truth is, if you want results others don't have, you must embrace discomfort others won't face. It means waking up earlier than you feel like, running farther than you thought possible, speaking up when your voice shakes, and daring to take risks when failure is staring you in the eyes. Growth has never been about ease, it has always been about endurance. The hardest thing is that your mind will fight you every step of the way. It will whisper, "Stay comfortable, don't push, take the shortcut." But comfort is deceptive. It promises peace, but delivers regret. Imagine 2 versions of yourself 10 years from now, one who always chose comfort, who stayed in the safe zone, who never dared to sweat or struggle. That version will look back and wonder, what if I had tried harder? What if I had endured more? Then picture the other version, the one who embraced discomfort, who forced their mind and body through the tough moments, who lived with discipline instead of excuses. That version may have scars, but they will also have strength, achievements, and the pride of knowing they lived fully. The pain of discipline is temporary, but the pain of regret can last a lifetime. The gym session that burns your muscles will pass, the late nights of study will fade, the hard conversations will eventually be behind you, but the growth you gain, the resilience you build, and the victories you earn from those moments will stay with you forever. Discomfort doesn't destroy you, it transforms you. It's the refining fire that reveals the gold hidden within you. So when you feel resistance, don't run. When you feel fear, don't stop. When the road gets heavy, remind yourself, this is the toll I must pay for the life I desire. The question is not, is this easy? The question is this worth it? And the answer, every time you grow stronger through discomfort, will always be yes. Most people wait for motivation before they take action, and that's the reason they remain stuck where they are. They tell themselves, I'll go to the gym when I feel ready, I'll start studying when I feel focused, I'll chase my dream when I feel inspired. But that day never comes, because motivation is not a stable force. It's fleeting, unreliable, and tied to your emotions, which change like the weather. One day you feel like pushing forward, the next day you don't. And if your life is built on the shaky ground of feelings, you'll never create lasting success. The truth is, waiting for motivation is like waiting for the wind to blow in the right direction before you set sail. You'll never leave the shore. Action is what creates motivation, not the other way around. Think about the times when you dreaded doing something, but once you started, momentum carried you through. You didn't feel like cleaning your room, but after picking up one item, you suddenly had the energy to finish it all. You didn't feel like working out, but after a few minutes on the treadmill, your body adjusted, your blood pumped, and you felt alive. You didn't want to sit down to study, but after reading the first page, your focus deepened and you found yourself learning. That's the power of action. It builds its own fuel. Imagine waking up at 5 a.m. to run. In that moment, your body begs you to stay under the blanket, your mind invents excuses, and comfort tries to seduce you into staying still. But if you refuse to think and instead move, if you lace up your shoes, open the door, and step outside, something powerful happens. Within minutes, your body adjusts to the rhythm of movement, your lungs expand, your blood flows, and the very energy you thought you didn't have begins to flood in. You didn't wait for motivation. You created it by choosing to act first. Motivation is like a spark. It burns bright, but it dies quickly. Action, on the other hand, is the wood that keeps the fire alive. The greatest athletes, entrepreneurs, and leaders you admire didn't build their success because they woke up every day feeling motivated. They built it because they understood discipline is stronger than emotion. They acted regardless of how they felt, and their consistency is what produced extraordinary results. A student doesn't graduate because they studied only when they felt motivated. They graduate because they studied on the days they felt lazy, tired, and distracted. A champion doesn't win because they train only when it feels good. They win because they train when it hurts, when they're sore, when every fiber of their body tells them to stop. When you remove the illusion that motivation is necessary, you free yourself. You stop waiting, you stop hesitating, and you start moving. Think about how many dreams die because people keep saying, I'll start tomorrow. Tomorrow becomes next week becomes next year, and eventually it becomes never. If you only take action when it feels comfortable, you'll live a life of regret. But if you learn to act first and let motivation follow, you'll live a life of progress. Your brain is designed to reward effort. Every time you choose discipline, every time you choose to move before you feel ready, your brain releases chemicals that give you energy, focus, and satisfaction. The very act of beginning rewires your mind to push further. You don't need to wait for the perfect mood, the perfect time, or the perfect conditions. You only need to take the first step. That first step is always the hardest, but it is also the most important, because once you move, the rest will follow. So stop waiting for inspiration to strike. Stop believing the lie that motivation will suddenly appear and carry you forward. It won't. What will carry you forward is your choice to act. One small action, taken today, repeated tomorrow, and repeated the day after. That is how great lives are built. Not on the fragile wings of motivation, but on the unshakable foundation of action. Willpower is not something you are born with in a fixed amount. It is not a gift that some people have and others don't. Willpower is trainable. It is like a muscle, and just like any muscle in your body, it grows stronger when it is used and it withers away when it is neglected. People often make the mistake of believing they simply lack willpower, as if it were a permanent condition, but the truth is, they just haven't practiced it enough. Every time you face a choice between comfort and discipline, you are standing in the mental gym. And the choice you make determines whether your willpower grows or weakens. Think about lifting weights. No one expects to walk into the gym for the first time and lift 200 pounds. You start small. You build strength gradually. With each repetition, your body adapts, and over time, what once felt impossible begins to feel natural. The same is true for your mind. You don't develop unshakable willpower overnight. You start by doing the small, hard things consistently, and those small acts compound into mental toughness. Choosing the stairs instead of the elevator seems insignificant. Closing your phone and finishing the last few pages of a book doesn't seem life-changing. Pushing yourself for one more rep in the gym feels like such a minor victory. But these tiny choices are training sessions for your brain. They are micro-reps of discipline. And when stacked together over days, weeks, and months, they rewire your mind to lean toward strength instead of weakness, toward persistence instead of giving up. Navy SEALs have a phrase for this: callousing the mind. Just like your hands form calluses from hard work, your mind forms calluses when you deliberately expose it to struggle and push through. At first, it feels painful, uncomfortable, even unbearable. But if you return to that pressure again and again, something extraordinary happens. You stop breaking down. You start hardening. You start enduring. The very struggle that once defeated you now becomes the very force that shapes you. Look at anyone who has achieved greatness in any field: athletes, leaders, creators, soldiers. Behind their success is not just talent, but years of willpower training. They faced temptation, fatigue, and doubt just like everyone else, but they had built the inner strength to keep going when others stopped. They had conditioned their minds through repeated choices, through consistent discipline, through thousands of tiny moments where they said yes to effort and no to comfort. This training doesn't just prepare you for ordinary life, it prepares you for storms, because storms will come. Unexpected challenges, moments of fear, times when everything feels overwhelming. In those moments, your natural instinct will be to retreat, to seek ease, to escape. But if you have trained your willpower like a muscle, you won't collapse under the weight. You will stand tall. You will face the storm with strength that feels unshakable because you've already conditioned yourself to endure pressure. Think about how powerful that is. Imagine going through life knowing that no matter what comes your way, you have the mental resilience to face it. That doesn't come from reading about strength or wishing for it or waiting for motivation. It comes from daily practice, from small decisions, from stacking one disciplined choice on top of another until you build a fortress within yourself. The world will always present you with two paths, the easy one and the hard one. The easy one offers comfort now, but weakness later. The hard one demands effort now, but delivers strength later. Each time you choose the hard one, you're adding another layer to your willpower. And one day, when you face the battle that truly matters, you will discover that your mind is not fragile. It is forged, tested, and ready. Because you trained it like a muscle, and now it is stronger than anything that stands in your way. Most people run from pain. They see it as a warning sign, as something to avoid at all costs. Pain means danger, it means discomfort, it means something isn't right, and so they back away. They quit the workout when it starts to burn, they close the book when studying gets difficult, they avoid the tough conversation because it feels uncomfortable. But the truth is, pain isn't always a signal to stop. Sometimes pain is a signal that you are growing. High achievers understand this. They see pain not as punishment, but as progress. They know that pain is proof you're pushing past your limits, proof that you are entering territory you've never been in before. Every meaningful achievement in life comes with its share of discomfort. Think about the gym. The very sensation most people run from, the burning of the muscles, the trembling of the body, the sweat that pours from your skin, is the exact sign that your body is adapting. Without that pain, there is no growth. Muscles don't strengthen in comfort. They strengthen when they are broken down and rebuilt stronger. The same principle applies to your mind, your character, your spirit. Each time you stay with the pain instead of running from it, you level up. Consider the student who pushes through one more hour of study when their mind is exhausted. In that moment of struggle, they are expanding their capacity to focus, to endure, to think more deeply. Or think about the entrepreneur who endures countless rejections, late nights, financial risks, and setbacks. Each painful experience is not a step backward, it's a step forward in disguise. Those sleepless nights, those failures, those moments of doubt are not wasted. They are the very pressures shaping resilience, sharpening creativity, and forging strength. Coal does not turn into diamonds because it has an easy life. It becomes a diamond only after being subjected to extreme heat and unrelenting pressure. In the same way, the pain you feel in your journey is not a sign of weakness. It's the exact force molding you into something unbreakable. What most people call struggle, the strongest among us call transformation. The difference lies in perspective. Most people ask, "Why is this so hard? Why do I have to go through this?" But the question to ask is, what strength am I building through this? What new version of myself is emerging from this pain? That shift changes everything. Suddenly, resistance doesn't feel like an enemy. It becomes your training partner. Struggle doesn't feel like a burden. It becomes your opportunity to grow. Pain no longer feels like a wall. It becomes the doorway to resilience. Think of someone training for a marathon. Every long run hurts. Every step after exhaustion feels like agony. But when they cross that finish line, the pain wasn't meaningless. It was the evidence of progress. Without it, there would be no victory, no strength, no transformation. The same applies in life. The tough conversations that sting your pride build honesty and courage. The heartbreak that crushes your spirit builds empathy and depth. The failures that wound your confidence build perseverance and humility. Pain is not there to destroy you, it's there to refine you. It is the sculptor's tool that carves away the weaker parts of you, leaving behind a version of yourself that is stronger, braver, and more resilient. If you stop running from pain and instead reframe it as progress, it becomes a badge of honor. Every scar becomes a story of survival. Every hardship becomes a marker of growth. Every difficult moment becomes proof that you refuse to stay small. So the next time pain arrives, don't rush to escape it. Sit with it. Learn from it. Embrace it as evidence that you are moving beyond who you were and stepping into who you are becoming. Because every ounce of pain you endure in the pursuit of growth is not wasted. It is building you into something far greater than comfort ever could. If you leave hard things up to choice, your brain will almost always take the easier path. That's how we're wired, to seek comfort, to avoid strain, to escape difficulty whenever possible. And if you try to negotiate with your mind in those moments, it will talk you out of doing the very thing that will help you grow. You'll promise yourself, "I'll work out tomorrow," or "I'll study when I feel ready," or "I'll wake up early just this once." But over time, these small negotiations pile up, and before you know it, your life is ruled by excuses instead of progress. The solution is simple but powerful. Remove choice. Build non-negotiables. Think about an athlete in training. They don't wake up each morning asking themselves if they feel like practicing. Training is not a decision, it's a non-negotiable. They simply train. A soldier doesn't pause to debate whether they should follow an order. Orders are non-negotiables. They act without hesitation because hesitation costs lives. In the same way, if you want to create discipline in your life, you must decide in advance that certain things are not up for debate. You don't argue with yourself, you don't delay, you don't bargain, you just do it. This is where true discipline begins. When you decide that you always wake up at a certain time, regardless of whether you feel tired or rested, it stops being a daily battle. When you decide that you always finish the tasks you start, it stops being a question of motivation. These rules become the framework of your life, and once they are set, you free yourself from constant mental battles. You no longer waste energy arguing with yourself because the decision has already been made. Non-negotiables build identity, and identity is the most powerful force in shaping behavior. If you see yourself as someone who values discipline, who follows through, who does what they say they will do, you naturally live up to that standard. It becomes who you are. Just like brushing your teeth in the morning, you don't debate it, you don't procrastinate, you just do it because it's a part of you. That is the level of automaticity you want with discipline. Look at the people who live extraordinary lives. Behind the scenes, they've built routines anchored in non-negotiables. Writers who sit down every single morning to write, regardless of whether inspiration strikes. Entrepreneurs who commit to their goals even when setbacks hit them hard. Parents who sacrifice sleep and comfort because raising their children is not optional. It's who they are. Their success is not built on random bursts of motivation. It is built on consistency, on daily disciplines so deeply ingrained that they stop being choices and start being truths. This doesn't mean you need to create dozens of rules overnight. Start small. Pick 1 or 2 areas in your life where you struggle with follow-through. Maybe it's your health, your work, or your personal growth. Establish a single non-negotiable, something simple but firm. For example, commit to moving your body every day, even if it's just for 10 minutes. Commit to reading for 15 minutes instead of scrolling on your phone before bed. Over time, these small non-negotiables expand and they reshape your entire life. The beauty of living with non-negotiables is that discipline becomes less of a struggle and more of a rhythm. At first, it may feel rigid, even uncomfortable, but soon it becomes second nature. The moment you identify yourself as a disciplined person, you stop asking, "Do I feel like it?" and you start declaring, "This is who I am." And when something becomes who you are, you no longer wrestle with it, you simply do it. That's the secret of lasting discipline. It's not about superhuman willpower, it's not about endless motivation, it's about building rules that anchor your life so deeply that breaking them feels unnatural. Once you live by your non-negotiables, you discover a freedom most people will never know, the freedom of no longer being controlled by moods, excuses, or laziness. The freedom of living in alignment with who you've chosen to become. When your mind wants to quit, when every part of you aches for relief, the only thing that can carry you forward is vision. Struggle feels unbearable when you stare only at the pain, but it transforms when you look beyond it and see the reward that waits on the other side. That shift in focus is the difference between giving up and breaking through. A student burning the midnight oil is not just forcing facts into their brain. They are laying the foundation for opportunities that will shape their future. Each page turned, each hour sacrificed, each moment of fatigue is an investment in the life they dream of. Without that vision, the work feels like punishment. With vision, it becomes purpose. The same is true for the parent working 2 jobs. On the surface, it looks like exhaustion, like sacrifice without end. But if you zoom out, you see something deeper. They are not just enduring hardship for themselves, they are creating stability, dignity, and possibility for their children. The long nights, the aching body, the weariness in their eyes, all of it is fueled by love, by a vision of a brighter tomorrow. That is why they keep going when others would collapse. Meaning makes sacrifice bearable. This is a timeless truth. Viktor Frankl, who endured the unimaginable horrors of the Holocaust, observed that those who had a why to live could bear almost any how. Those who had a vision beyond the suffering, whether it was seeing their loved ones again, completing their life's work, or holding on to faith, were the ones who survived with strength. It wasn't the absence of pain that gave them resilience. It was the presence of meaning. You can apply this same truth to your own life. When the workout feels like too much, don't focus on the burning muscles. Focus on the health, strength, and confidence you are building. When the long hours at your job drain your energy, don't dwell on the fatigue. Focus on the doors it will open, the skills you are mastering, the life you are building. When you're chasing a dream and every obstacle seems to mock your effort, don't stare at the hardship. Fix your eyes on the vision of who you are becoming. The future you desire must become so vivid in your mind that it drowns out the voice telling you to quit. Every great achievement demands sacrifice, but if the reward is clear enough, the sacrifice feels lighter. Think about the marathon runner. The last miles are agony, every step screams with pain, but they don't stop because they can see the finish line in their mind. They envision the moment they cross it, the pride in their chest, the proof that all the training was worth it. That vision pulls them forward when their body wants to fall. You, too, need your own finish line, your own picture of victory so strong that it carries you through the darkest miles. Your vision must be stronger than your fear. Fear will always be there, whispering that the struggle is too much, that you're not capable, that it's not worth it. But when you hold tightly to your why, fear loses its power. The human spirit can endure almost anything if it has a reason to keep going. So give your struggle a reason. Attach it to love, to purpose, to legacy, to the future you refuse to live without. The next time you feel the weight of hardship pressing down on you, pause and look beyond it. Ask yourself, what am I building through this? What reward waits on the other side of this pain? Let that answer fuel you. Because the moment your vision of the reward becomes brighter than the struggle itself, quitting is no longer an option. You will keep moving forward, not because it's easy, but because the life you see ahead of you is worth every ounce of effort it takes to reach it. Forcing your mind to do hard things is not punishment, it's freedom. Freedom from weakness, from regret, from mediocrity. Each time you conquer the hard path, you rewrite your story. You prove to yourself that you are stronger than laziness, stronger than excuses, stronger than fear. So the next time your mind whispers, "Take it easy," remember this. The easy road creates a hard life, but the hard road creates a powerful one. Choose the hard road. Your future self is waiting there.